I don't even know where to start with this episode, but I guess first question, if someone's hiking in a fictional story, do they have to twist their ankle? I had not read this book in several years, and I chose not to reread Drums of Autumn before this series began because I didn't want to be comparing it to the book the whole time. But I gotta tell you, after watching this episode, I'm dying to open that book again because some of this stuff did not really come into my memory at all. A lot of it just felt like new information. But maybe I'm wrong. Those of you who are purists, I'm sure will let me know. Bree heads through the stones, turns her ankle, and is acting like a very prepared Girl Scout. Roger has shaved his beard and changed into old-fashioned clothes, and he's gonna head through the stones himself. At one point he says, time is not a reality, but a concept. And this show loves to connect people in a myriad of ways through loose connections and mirrored relationships. And much of this episode is about Bree's relationship with Frank. They do not say it, but they definitely make you think that he knows what will happen to Jamie and Claire in a fire in Wilmington. Frank is a professional historian, and he has a copy of the Wilmington Gazette, and it seems as though he knows what's going to happen to Jamie and Claire. So he knows they're going to get back together. Before Claire knows, before Bree knows. And it seems like it has broken him. This is where I'm going to rely on those of you who are book experts because I'm not going to reread the book even though I want to. But I do not remember Frank knowing what would happen. Maybe this is old information I should have known, but I don't remember this at all. Either way, I'm not wrong that it is what the show wants you to think. It feels like that is the reason for the divorce. He knows Claire goes back. After Bree takes her tumble, she ends up where? With Leary. Again, they're always mirroring these relationships or bringing them back together. This woman has been hurt by Jamie and has felt the sting of Jamie and Claire's undying love. With all the flashbacks to Frank and then this part with Leary, you can't help but think that they're trying to make you feel like, well, Jamie and Claire's love ruined other people's lives. And I guess in a sense it did, but their love also created Bree, and everything they did for 20 years was to protect her. So it's a tangled web. Leary starts out nice to Bree, mothering her just like Claire has mothered her child Marsley. But as soon as she finds out who Bree is, she loses it. Jekyll and Hyde situation. Meanwhile, Roger's found his way onto a boat and is ready to head to North Carolina. You know, it's too bad these two didn't know that there were stones that would take you to the past, closer to North Carolina, because they could have flown in an airplane over the ocean instead of taking a sea cruise. That would have been better. Roger not only has to take a long sea cruise, but he has jumped aboard a ship with Stephen Bonnet. You remember, the guy who tried to kill Jamie and Claire? After they tried to save him? Yeah, that guy. He's back. At any rate, things are not going well. Like Leary, Bonnet seems really nice, except when he doesn't, and he turns into an actual devil and starts throwing children off his boat because he thinks they have smallpox. And then he just keeps throwing people off. I wonder if he'd ever heard of a quarantine before. Ultimately, Roger steps in to help a mother an infant, and you think Bonnet is going to kill him. But like a game of cat and mouse, the episode ends with Roger still alive. Meanwhile, Leary has completely lost her mind and says she wants Bree to burn at the stake like she tried to have Claire killed. That's not very nice. It turns out that Joni, Bree's not really stepsister. I don't know what she is. She's mildly related. She rescues her after Leary locks her in a room and takes her over to her Uncle Ian at Lollybrock. He helps Bree find her way to a ship so she can sail to North Carolina and gives her instructions to find Aunt Jocasta at River Run so that she can then find Claire and Jamie. This episode, though, was really about Bree and Frank and their relationship, and it's almost like he gives her a blessing at the end to go and find her other dad. And while Jamie is her biological father, it's clear that Frank is the one that she really loves. And that's what this show does. It just suspends you. Luckily, we don't have to go through the stones to get to the next episode.